Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Dear students and viewers, we shall discuss today and talk on chapter number 3, issues during the construction phase. As we have, as you know that we are recording our class lectures. These videos are for civil engineers and for a course on construction engineering and management. So, I think in the second, because I'm going to distribute the syllabus to my students, so they know the textbook, and I'm going to show them also hard copy in the class. But in the second lesson, I talked about the textbook. So, but I got a message from some couple of people that they want to know the textbook. So I think I'm going to display it in this slide. So we are going to follow the textbook is Construction Management, 5th edition, published by Wiley in 2017. So authors are Daniel W. Halpern from Purdue University and Bolivar A. Senior from Colorado State University, USA. Okay. So this is the book that we are going to follow for this course. So this is today we are going to discuss the third chapter. Third chapter is related to issues during the construction phase. Okay. So issues related to the first, heading in the book is issues related to the site layout. Okay. So, as the title of the chapter indicates, that issues during the construction phase. It means what we are going to discuss is all the issues for construction project from starting of the project until completion of the project. So, it's all the issues during the construction phase. So this course, as you know, that is construction engineering and management. So we are not going to discuss the design part. We are going to discuss the construction on site. Okay. So now issues during the construction phase. First heading we are going to discuss under issues related to site layout. Okay. So for site layout, how we have to make a layout of the site, okay, for the project, like where we should, so it depends upon number of things, like here they are going to mention that it depends upon the size of the project, type of construction, whether it's a building construction or highway construction. So based on that we can, how much is the construction time or construction period in the contract. So what are the weather and environmental factors in that area where the project is located, and how is the job site topography of the area, what are the adjacent structures. So these kind of things are going to help us in deciding the site layout of the project. So what type of equipment we are going to use on the project, or where we have to put the main gate of the site, and there are other some other gates, side gates, or gate number 2, 3, 4, okay, for the site. So how is we are going to connect the site drainage? So there is the access road that will be the approach road for our project, and what will be the transportation protocol or traffic management for the project site. So where we have to make connections for the, because this is we are going to start a new project, so where we should have the connection for water supply, or connection for electricity, or how we are going to connect wastewater with the existing sewerage line. So where we should have the water supply tank for our project. So these kind of things they are going to help us how we will make the site layout. Site layout. like you see during construction, because sometimes a construction site like this is the photograph is shown as doing the piling work, casing, for the piling. So sometimes sites are congested and is have to do piling and lot of mud and have put reinforcement casing, and then first drilling. We should be careful, how we should make a site layout, like where we should have. This is also under the site layout, like where the contractor should set his, facilities on the site. So where should be the site office for the contractor, or for the consultant, or a site office for the maybe the owner, or the employer also. So where the contractor should have its storeroom, and where they should store the cement or aggregates. How they should arrange the storage yard, scaffold in storage yard. Okay, where they have to put the tower crane. Usually, if there is a tall building project, so we can install the tower crane with the lift, lift for high-rise building in the middle. So where we should have maximum access, depending upon if there is one tower crane or more than one. So how we can give access for delivering our materials. So where should we should place the tower crane, or on which side we should have the electrical workshop, or if we have a carpenter workshop on site, if there is a equipment maintenance workshop on site. Where we should have the reinforcement steel workshop, where we should cut the rebars and cut and bend and join, and then transport to the site for columns or beams or footings. So where on site contractor should make a labor rest area for the labor, or at what place they should have the residence for the labor workforce. So where we can install if the project is big, where we can install the batching plant, concrete batching plant, or we have electric generators or fuel storage, fire equipment storage, safety equipment. We should have the guard house for security, site security. So all these things, when we start a new project, we need to decide, how we should have a good site layout that it will help us during the construction period of the project. Because sometime period of the project is, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. If there is a precast yard, so then we have to establish all these facilities, on site. So keeping in all these things in mind, so where in the contractor facilities, or where we have to take water supply connection, electricity connection. So depending upon then we set the site layout, or where we should have the tower crane or other things. Okay, so this is the, like first we discussed site layout. So next topic we are going to discuss in this chapter is acceptance. So we will start, as I said, issues during the construction phase. Okay, starting from the project until finish of the project. Okay, these things we are going to discuss. So now it's acceptance period or withdrawal. Okay, it's like the people who have submitted their bid, if they want to withdraw their bid, so they should do that one. And so we will start with a couple of small definitions, like notice to bidders or bid advertisement. So first, when all the documents, as we have discussed in chapter number 2, that if our design is ready or the bid documents are ready, book of specification, general condition of contract, particular condition of contract, or supplementary conditions, special conditions. So all the forms, specification, drawings, when everything is ready, So we are going to advertise the project. Okay. So once we advertise the project, then it means the interested contractors, they will get those documents from the owners or the consultant office, because consultant work on behalf of the owner. Okay. So they can obtain those documents, set of drawings, or all the contract documents. So then there is a bid meeting or site visit. It's always good that a consultant and owner, they can ask those bidders to come and visit the site, to have a look on the site, how the site look like. Sometimes site access road is difficult, or some, there is a water channel or something. So there is a congested area, and it's in the very highly populated area, in the center of the city. So it's always better to invite the bidders, and they should have a look the site, how difficult is the site, or how access road for transportation of materials and everything. So they should have a meeting on site, and they should visit the site. Okay, that means contractor, they can visit the site, and then so they will prepare the bid. So then they have been given a bidding period. So for those documents, they will prepare the bid price. Okay, all those contractors. So they may have, depending upon the size of the project, maybe 15 days to 30 days, or 60 days, or 90 days, up to 3 months, depending upon how big is the project, how many drawings or how many contract documents they have to study. So bidding period was given depending upon the size of the project. Okay. So after that, they will submit the bid. Okay. The day they will submit the bid, it was given in the contract document that the bid should be submitted in office number, this at 10 a.m. Say for example, on such date and time. Okay. So then on the same day, all the bids will be opened. On the same day, all the bids will be opened in front of the construction companies, all those contractors who have submitted the bid. Okay. So then the price of each contractor will be announced loudly. Okay, so that every contractor or competitors contractor, they should know who is the lowest. Okay, who is the lowest in the bidding price. So then after that, the consultant and the owner, they will do the bid evaluation. Okay. After bid opening, so there will be a bid evaluation period. So they will check all those documents submitted by the contractor. So bidding period, bid evaluation period, they will make the comparative statement, who is the lowest, or if there is any mistake, or check the calculations, or check any condition imposed by the contractor. So they actually they have to follow the instructions. They usually issue the instructions for the bidders. So they have to follow the all the contractors, they have to follow the contract document while preparing their bid. So but they will do the bid evaluation. So it may take from 15 days to maybe 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, from 30 to 90 days, okay, depending upon how big is the project. Okay. Usually when we discuss all these things, we imagine that we are talking about large projects. Okay. So bid evaluation period could be 30 days to 90 days. Then after the bid evaluation, so now the owner and consultant will have a pretty good idea, which bid is good and which contractor is, about their qualification and their all these things. They will have a pretty good idea about each contractors. So then based on that, they will issue the notice of award, or they will issue acceptance letter probably to the lowest bidder. Okay. The lowest bidder, they will say, okay, we are ready to accept your bid offer that you have submitted with this much price and this much time period. So they can issue a notice of award, or they can issue the acceptance letter, okay, letter of acceptance to the successful bidder. So if that contractor, if they accept, they can arrange insurance for the project, or they can arrange the performance bond. So then they then the parties can decide, okay, let award the contract, or let make a formal signing ceremony for the contract. Okay, so it means the selected contractor who win the bid, they will sign the contract with the owner. Okay, so contract will be awarded and contract will be signed after winning contractor will arrange the insurance and the performance bond for the project. So once the parties they have signed, now it means the owner already have the consultant of the project or designer of the project, and they also have selected the contractor. Okay. So now they can issue the notice to proceed. They can issue notice to proceed to the with whom they have signed the contract. Okay. So notice to proceed means that from that date, they can give maybe 15 days or 20 days that you can move to the site and occupy the site and start construction. So from this notice to proceed, what the date was mentioned in this letter, the starting time of the contract will be recognized, like the starting time of the contract will start. Okay. So if the contract time is maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, so notice to proceed will mention the start time of the contract. Okay. So it means now the contractor can bring their forces, like they can bring their labor force, they can bring their equipment, they can bring their engineer, they can establish the site afterwards, they can occupy the site, they can start the construction. Okay, so this will be like for the winning contractor time to mobilization on the site. Then once now the contractor they have moved to the site and they have started the construction. So from this construction, construction phase, actually the project starting time start, and maybe construction phase, maybe it will be 1 year project or 2 years project or maybe 4 years project or 5 years project. Like, in Riyadh we have this metro project. Before it was 5 years. Now it is they have given 3 years extension, so it's a 8 years project. So depending on now the construction phase will start. So with this, we move same bidding. At the bottom is given some bidding, notice to bidders, bidding period, opening of the bid, and then signing of the contract, acceptance period. Okay. So then, giving the notice to proceed, and construction will start on site. Okay. So like the bidding procedure we can discuss. So what we next we are going to discuss is contract agreement. Okay, so it means just a couple of things we are going to read here, like a letter of intent or letter of acceptance. Okay, so to sign the contract, owner or his representative consultant will give a letter of acceptance to the contractor to whom they want to sign the contract. Usually they this is like the lowest bidder among the bidders. So then after they will sign the contract. Okay, so contract agreement, like form of contract we have discussed in the previous chapter, bid package, different kind of forms. So there is a contract signing form. Okay, so when they sign the contract, so contract signing, it will mention the price and the time also. Okay, time is usually in multiple of 7, like weeks. You can count working weeks. So the contract agreement, all the documents in the bidding will become part of the contract, like the set of drawings. All the drawings will be part of the contract. General condition book will be part of the contract. Supplementary conditions book will also become part of the contract. Technical specifications book will also become part of the contract if they have issued before, like instruction to bidders or anything. So all those documents become part of the contract, and any addenda. Okay, so that they have issued addenda number 1, 2, 3, 4. You know that because the first day they issued the document and until bid submission. Okay, so any change in the documents will be in the form of addenda. Okay, so like if they have issued addenda number 1, addenda number 2, addenda number 3, so all addenda will become part of the contract. So once they have signed the contract, then the owner or his consultant will going to issue the notice to proceed. Okay. So notice to proceed, that means the winning contractor will come and occupy the site. Okay, start construction on site, or it will be like some time is given, maybe 2 weeks in the notice to proceed, that you have 2 weeks. You can establish the site office on site, or you can establish any workshop like what we have discussed in the site layout. Site layout planning. So they can mobilize their workforce, their equipment, and then they can start the construction. So the notice to proceed will mention the start time of the contract, start time of the project. Okay, next issue. So what other issues comes in the issues during the construction phase is extension of time. Okay, EOT, extension of time or time. So construction contract allow the construction period to be extended where there is a delay that is not the contractor's fault, called extension of time. So see this, if the contractor is not at fault, it's delay was occurred because there was something wrong from the owner side or from the consultant side. So then the owner can give extension of time to the contractor. So this is like based on the delay caused by the owner or his representative or his consultant. Or there could be adverse weather conditions like act of God. In terminology, say act of God. Maybe there is a something happen, flooding in that area, adverse weather conditions, or there is a some cyclone or something like there is a what we discussed before also, flooding, or maybe earthquake or anything, these kind of things beyond the control of the contractor. So if there is anything happen, so then the contractor can get extension of time. Okay, extension of time, but no. So now next item we are going to discuss in this issues during the construction phase, date of substantial completion or beneficial occupancy date. Beneficial occupancy date. Date of substantial completion. So date of substantial completion means that until this date, that the project is main part of the project is complete and project can be used for the purpose it was designed. Okay, say for example, if this is a road project, so road can be open to traffic. Okay. So this will be like substantial project is substantially complete. Road can be open to traffic and people can use that road. So we call it a substantial completion. Okay, but there are other things like there is a footpath, there is a tree plantation, or some signboard or something. So it's these things can be done later. Okay. Similarly, if there is a building project or it's apartment. So then it means the project inside project is main building is complete and that can be used. People can occupy. Okay? People can move in. They can utilize that project. Okay, high-rise building. But there is a outside some classic landscaping, tree plantation, or some these kind of landscaping. So those can be done later. So this means for which the purpose of the project was designed. So project can be used for that purpose, and we call it the project is substantially complete. Actually, when the time is mentioned in the contract, so it is from the like the notice to proceed. Time will be mentioned starting time. So then completion time will be until the substantial completion. The completion time will be until the substantial completion. So after the substantial completion, that time will not be counted in those, in the contract time. So that those things will be between the owner and consultant. So they will discuss landscaping, small things, small details, footpath, grass, lawn, or landscaping. So these kind of things will be done later. Tree plantation. So later. Okay. So no, we discuss here what is extension of time. So owner can give extension of time if the contractor is not at fault, or their delay was caused by the owner, or there is a adverse weather conditions. Okay, so now from starting point until project completion, so this is the contract time we have discussed issues during the construction phase. Next thing we are going to discuss is change orders or variation orders. If a change is required in the contract document after signing a contract for construction, the type of document used to implement that change is called a change order or variation order. Okay. So after signing of contract, any change in the contract document, in the book of specification, or in some there, if the owner wants some additional work a little bit, so they want extra door in this room, they want an additional washroom attached with this room. So these kind of changes, if they are not there in the, then because usually when we have a contract period 5 years, so sometimes it's when people work together, so with the passage of time, things are going to refine, and owner is going to ask that, okay, they need wooden floor in this one, or they need additional washroom in attached with this room, or they need additional door here. So these kind of things, changes can happen, during the construction period. So, but every change will be compared with the original drawing and with the final drawing. Okay? And then it will be checked the impact of the price. Okay, will be impact of the price. So it will be calculated based on if whatever the rates are there in the contract document. So that will be based on those rates. If something is not there or some additional material or new material, so then rate will be new. But all the three parties, they have to agree, with all these change orders. So it means change can be generated from the owner side or from the consultant side, or there is a construction change necessity required by the project requirements. So, but all these three parties, they have to sit together and agree on that change order, how much will be the price and how much will be the time. So it means all change order, like this is for a contract, this is the price of the contract and this is the time of the contract. Now with this change, how much is there an increase in price or decrease in price, or there is a so what is the impact of this change? Okay. So then that will be change order will be signed, and then it will be added that, okay, now the final price of the contract is this and final time period is this month. So it means your last change order will be your last final contract. Your last change order, agreed change order, will be your last contract, final contract. Now they are going to mention here that these change orders, they are modification to the original contract. Of course, they are modification to the original contract. Or your book is going to say that these are like mini contracts with no competition. So these change orders are mini contracts with without any competitor. Okay. So you see, when the first time they have done the bidding, so contractor win the bidding by with competition with other contractors. But these change orders, when owner is asking for these changes, so these changes, and of course contractor will ask the impact of their price and time, on every change. So these contracts, they say it's like small contracts with no competitor from any other contractor. Okay. So, but all these things they have to do negotiation, and they have to agree on that every change order should be signed by the contractor and consultant and the owner. So your last change order will be your last contract. So usually, contract, any change after signing the contract will be in the form of change orders or variation order. So it could be change in the contract document, it could be change in the time, or it could be change in the additional work or deletion. Sometime owner is building a 80-story building when they have constructed 50-story, so they are short of money. So now they say, okay, we need to stop the work. Okay. So it means the next 30-story they are not going to build. So it's these things could happen. Or there is a some unusual circumstances. There is a war or something. So then project need to be stopped. So change order could be by any change, so they are change orders or variation orders. Okay, now what we next thing we are going to discuss important things what could happen during the construction period of the project. So next point is change condition. Okay, change condition. Here they are going to say change condition. Okay, not representative of perceived site condition. Okay. So it means for any construction projects, like if there is a building project, they must have done some boring log or this bore and shown the soil strata in the soil investigation report. If there is a road project also, they must have done these drill these bore holes. So and that shows how is the strata underneath of the soil. So sometimes the soil strata is not same as is given in the soil investigation report or in the boring log. Okay. So then we say it's their change condition. So now they are going to give an example here. The boring log estimate may indicate 2000 cubic yard of soil excavation and 500 cubic yard of rock. Okay. So it means the boring log is that there is a 2000 yard cube of soil and 500 is a rock will come. Yard cube rock. But when they started on site, they found that the site found to contain 1,500 cubic yard of rock, 1,500 cubic yard of rock, and only 1,000 cubic yard of soil. Okay. So it means soil has decreased from 2000 to 1000, but rock has increased from 500 cubic yard to 1500 cubic yard. Okay. Now, if this rock, a contractor has to break this rock for the foundation, so a contractor needs to break this rock to build the foundation, so he need extra money, to because you cannot break this with the rate of the soil, but he need to put the rate for the rock. Okay. So this is like change condition, not representative of perceived site conditions. Okay. If this could happen, so then there will be a variation order, change order, or a variation order. So due to this change condition. Okay. So because unforeseen things can happen, in the project. So then every time if these things are going to happen, we have to agree on the change order. No. So next point we are going to discuss is during the issues during the construction phase. Important point is suspension of the project or delay in the project, or there is an interruption, okay, in the project. Contracting officer may order in writing to suspend, delay all or any part of the work. Okay. So contracting officer means the person in charge from the owner side. Person in charge from the maybe a project director or whatever the name is given. So it's usually we call it in terminology contracting officer from the owner side. Okay, like there is the Riyadh municipality or the Department of Highway. So the Department of Highway may be having many projects, going on. So, but for each project, there could be they have assigned a officer that this person will be in charge of this project. So then that in charge person or who is responsible person of the project, he has the authority that he can order in writing to suspend the project or delay any part of the project or the whole project also. Okay, so this is if things will happen, then he need to order this thing. Okay. Contractor sometimes has to go through a demobilization and remobilization cycle. Okay, so like in the Middle East or in other countries also, if there is a war or something, so then projects are going to stop. Okay, and then the owner is going to tell them, okay, please let your stop the project and let your labor force go home. You should remove all your equipment. Okay. So all the equipment, tower crane, those cranes or any concrete pump or anything. So you can. So they what they said. Sometimes they have to do demobilization and remobilization. It means they have suspended the project. Project remains suspended for 6 months or 9 months. So then they ask again, okay, please mobilize your forces, bring your equipment on site, bring your labor force on site. So it means it's remobilization. Okay? So if these things happen on the project there, then adjustment for increase in cost of performance and the contract is modified accordingly. Okay? So then the parties, they have to sit together, what is the impact of these delays. Okay, what is the impact of these interruptions or delays or suspension. So sometimes the owner need to stop the project if there is something like underground cables from telephone organization or for the STC, so the Telecommunication Corporation, or maybe water supply pipe, or there is a leakage, or there is a danger that something can happen to the adjacent building foundation. So the contracting officer can stop the project. Okay? So, but if this happen, that major that sometimes contractors has to go through a demobilization and remobilization, then they have to make this adjust for increase in cost. How much was the standby cost? The standby cost when their equipment were on site, but they were not allowed to work. They have demobilized. Okay, they have taken the labor force, gone home, and equipment has removed from the site. So then they have to revive the contract. Okay, they have to sit and see how much will be the cost impact of these delays or suspensions. So they need to decide. So my dear student, let's move next with the next word. What we are going to discuss issues during the construction phase is liquidity damages. Okay. Liquidity damages, amount paid by the contractor per day for late completion of the project. Okay. So it's call it liquidity damages. So in every contract there is a liquidity damages, that amount paid by the contractor for late completion of the project. Okay, so they are going to give an example that suppose there is a small some couple of shops. Rental loss is 30,000 per month. So per day loss is divided by 30 is $100,000 per day. Okay. Cost of administration is 200 per day. Okay. So then it means liquidity damages becomes 1,200. Okay. So it means if this suppose you have 5 shops and the contractor agree that they will complete this project for within 1 year, okay, 12 months. But they have taken 6 months more, okay, 1 year 6 months. So the owner think that if the project could have been completed on time, they could have rented out these shops and they should have earned this much money, for 6 months. But now the contractor delayed the project, so then contractor should pay this liquidity damages. So really this liquidity damages is whatever the expected return is expected from that project, liquidity damages are equal to that one, how much per day return is expected from that project, so liquidity damages is equal to that one. So this is the base, like make the base when the consultant when they write the documents, they put in those documents that for this project liquidity damages will be this much per day. Okay. Of course, these will be mentioned in the bidding documents, but this is the way they are going to calculate the expected income from the project per day. So if the contractor will complete the project late without any reason, so then the owner has the right that they can ask for liquidity damages. So the contractor has to pay these liquidity damages to the owner for late completion of the project per day. Now, there is in some contracts, liquidity damages clause is always there in every type of contract. But sometimes some owners in their contracts, they have some additional clause also in the contract conditions, like here the penalty for overruns or bonus for early completion. Okay. So they have put in some contracts, this is the additional clause there, that if contractor complete the project late, so there will be a per day penalty that contractor has to pay if they delay the project without any reason. Okay, without any reason, it means they without it means contractor is at fault. Okay, so it means maybe they are not mobilizing their enough labor force or enough engineers, or they are not keeping good progress on site. So these are fault of the contractors, these kind of things. So this clause penalty is always coupled with bonus. Okay, so there will be a penalty for late completion, for overruns, or there will be a bonus for early completion. So if contractor will complete early, then contractor will get bonus per day from the owner if they will hand over the project early to the owner. Okay, so this is like the penalty and bonus clauses side by side. It's in some contracts. Okay, not every contract have this clause, but liquidity damages is there in every contract. So the issues during the construction phase, we discussed liquidity damages. So let's move next. We are towards the closing. Progress payments, okay, and retainage. Okay. Next issue, an important issue we are going to discuss during the construction phase is the progress payment and retainage. Okay. So there is always progress payment. Okay, monthly, just like everybody gets the salary monthly. So really each owner they pay the payment to the contractor monthly, based on their work done. Okay, based on the work done monthly. So we call those like first payment, second payment, third payment. So monthly progress payment, we call them progress payments. Now, but these progress payments, they have one item is a retainage. Okay, so let's see. The retainage is withholding of a portion of each progress payment earned by a contractor until a construction project is complete. Okay. Retainage is calculated as a percentage of each progress payment. Typically, the owner deduct 5 to 10% from each progress payment for half of the contract period. Okay. So now this is like a guarantee. Owner they want that the contractor should do their work according to the drawings and specifications, and there should not be any faulty work, okay, or any work. Say for example, if the contractor build this flooring, okay, and after 6 months flooring settle down, okay, so then contractor has to do that flooring again. Okay, so this is like if there is some cracking or anything during the construction, so then owner want to make sure that contractor will deliver the project in good shape and according to the good agreed specifications. That means they have to maintain the quality of the project and they have to deliver in good shape to the handover to the project to the owner in good shape. Okay. So usually what happens is that to keep this have to guarantee, they are going to deduct from each progress payment whatever the amount they agree, like 5% or 10%. Okay. So if they agree that from each progress payment, let's say they agree that from each progress payment, 10% money will be deducted as retainage. Okay. So now this money is usually deducted for half period of the contract. If the contract is for 12 months, so then this deduction will be for first 6 months. Okay. If the contract is for 12 months, 1 year, so the deduction, this deduction will happen for 6 months. Okay. So half period of the contract. If the contract is for 2 years, then deduction will be for 1 year. Okay. So half period of the contract, that agreed amount will be deducted, and that amount will remain with the owner and will be released with the final payment. Will be released with the final payment if there is no defective work. But if there is there is a defective work, as I said before, that they have done flooring and that flooring settled down, so then contractor will do that flooring again. So this is like a guarantee, or retainage, provide a guarantee to the owner that the contractor will do the work according to the contract and specifications and maintain the required quality and hand over the project in good shape. Okay, if there is any damage or defective work, so they have to do that work, and so otherwise owner has money, this retainage money, they can do this from the retainage money. But usually, so they release this retainage and contractor have to do those defective work, they have to repair, have to hand over the project in a good shape. Okay, remaining payments to be made in full. Okay, so what we said that this retainage is always deducted for half period of the contract. Okay. So, but if sometime like there is a 13 months contract, so it will be mentioned that retainage will be for 6 months or 7 months. Okay, for remaining months, the payment will be full. There will be no deduction. Okay. So reduction will be for half period of the contract, whatever the agreed amount. If they agreed in the contract in the beginning, that this was mentioned in the bidding documents that for this project, retainage will be 5%, or retainage will be 8%, or retainage will be 7%, or 10%, okay, and will be deducted for so many months. And contract period is also given in the contract document that the contractor should complete this project within 1 year or 2 years, or so the time is given in number of days. Time is given in number of days and multiple of 7, so that it could be like a number of weeks. Okay, so next thing we are going to discuss is the progress reporting. Okay, progress reporting. We will discuss in the next chapters about scheduling. So at that time also we will explain these things. But let's say is progress reporting. So here they are going to put just a very simple example. Like here they have they put the bar chart. We call it bar chart schedule. Um, so there are three activities, activity A, B, C, okay? And on x-axis is given the project months, time in months, like this 1 month, 2nd month, 3rd month, 4th and 5th month, okay? So three activities, activity A, B and C, okay? Activity A is starting from time 0 and until 4 months. Okay? Activity B is starting after 1 month, and will complete in month number 5, so it's also 4 months. Activity C is starting point is end of month number 2 and just finishing at the month number 3, so just 1 month period. So this is like this is our plan, okay, bar chart. Now we come to the second figure B, and here it's the all those three activities, activity A and B and C. Okay. So now there's a percent work completed at the end of 2nd month. Okay. So what they are going to say that suppose we are at the end of 2nd month, okay, at month number 2. So when we are at the month number 2, the line is look like that it's behind. So what it shows is that activity A is 40% complete. Okay? Activity A is 40% complete, and activity B is 15% complete. So we are at checking the progress at end of month number 2. Okay. So it means what this line indicates that we are behind schedule in activity A also and B also, we are behind schedule. Okay. So the color. Now in the second percent work completed at end of 3rd month. Okay. So now he is going to say that, okay, let's check the progress when we are at end of 3rd month. Okay. So we are at month number 3, this point. But when we see this, so the dotted line comes like this way. So what this indicates that activity A, work item A, is 70% complete. Is 70% complete. So we are little behind from month number 3. And activity B is 50% complete. 50% work for work item B has been completed. Okay. For activity C, we are at month number 3, so only 50% work is completed. Okay. So this, according to our planning, activity C should have been finished. 100% should have been finished, but it's 50% complete. Okay. So what it indicates that activity C, we are behind schedule. Okay. We are behind schedule. And for activity B, it looks like, okay, we are maybe on schedule. For activity A, we are a little bit also behind schedule, 70% complete. So we are behind at point number 3. So from this bar chart updating, okay, so it's a progress reporting. Usually the project managers use these kind of bar chart to report the progress, okay. So whatever the work done on site, they use these charts and put use different colors, okay, yellow color or some other color. So they can, when daily work is done, so they make a color to these bars, and from this they can report the progress that this work has been 40% complete or 70% complete or 15% complete or 50% complete. Okay, so they can report progress by this way to their headquarter, to the owner, to the consultant, how the project is going on. Okay. So next we will discuss with the in other chapter with S curve, but here progress reporting. So some project manager, they like to use bar chart to report the progress, how much work has been completed or done, and to say they update their bar chart this way and report the progress. Now we are moving to the probably the last slide, acceptance and final payment. Okay, So one issues during the construction phase, like when the whole project is complete, so there will be a joint inspection. Joint inspection. So it means the consultant, the owner, and the contractor. All three parties will do jointly visit the site and check the project very carefully that everything is okay or not. Okay, so they can prepare this deficiency list, or we call it punch list. Okay, so it means they can say that okay, we can because here acceptance of the project. We contractor need to hand over the project after completion to the owner. Okay, contractor want to hand over the project to the owner. So in that case, there will be a joint inspection, and they will visit the site and prepare this deficiency list. Okay, or punch list, we call it punch list or deficiency list. So all the items will be listed, like for this in this room, this switch is or this light is not working, this switch is not okay, or this you need to do the whitewash again or distemper again. Okay, so anything, whatever they will point out in that long list, they will prepare, and then they will say, okay, if the contractor will do in the next 10 days or something, 2 weeks, do these works, and then we will be ready to accept the project. Okay, so this is like accepting the work and releasing the final payment. Okay, so once the project is accepted and it means the owner is ready to accept the project from the contractor, and then they will release their final payment. Okay, so once they accept, they will be ready to pay the final payment, and with the final payment, all the retainage that has been deducted for a half period of the contract, so that retainage will also be released. Okay, release of retainage to the contractor. If there is no defective work, no damage, no repair work, okay, so then a retainage that has been deducted for half period of the contract, 10% from each progress payment, so that will also be released to the contractor when contractor will be have done this work that they have identified in the deficiency list or punch list. So with this, the project has been handed over to the owner, and final payment has been released to the contractor. So then, with this we have finished the this chapter number 3, issues during the construction phase. Okay, issues during the construction phase, from starting of the project until completion of the project. So with this, it's I would like to thank you for your attention, for paying attention. And let me say, before we end the lecture, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamu alaikum.